Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my live stream for our lesson on Module 6, Lesson 2 of Oral Communication in Context. If you haven't met me yet, my name is David B. Dichoso. I'm a senior high school teacher of Cabarugis National School of Arts and Trades, Cabarugis, Quirino. Before we start with our lecture for today, I would like to extend my prayers for the victims of Typhoon Ulysses, especially in the province of Cagayan. For the information of everyone, I am from Cagayan. My mom is from Cagayan, that's why I am really sad of what happened to them. But nevertheless, we help them in prayer. If we can give them support with relief goods, let's help them to stand once again. Because together we will rise again as Filipinos. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Last week, we talked about the different types of speeches based on their purpose and delivery. We talked about the different types such as to inform, to entertain, or to persuade. This week, we're going to move on with another lesson, specifically the types of speech style. We're going to discuss the acceptable ways in delivering speeches. Are you excited? If you are, then I want you to hold with you your modules today so that we can start with our discussion. Shout out to all of my students from the different sections: Amber, Emerald, Crystal, Onyx, Sapphire, Ruby, Amethyst. Good morning to everyone. I would like also to thank the author of Module 6, Ma'am Bernadette Siguyo of Region 4A, Calabarzon. Thank you very much, Ma'am, for your efforts in writing this module. Thank you very much and God bless you more. So let's start with our lesson. Good morning once again. In the first part of your module, Lesson 2 for Module 6, there is a pre-diagnostic test to determine your prior knowledge about the different types of speech style. You are then expected to answer this. And as we move on with our discussion today, together we are going to determine or discover the answers for these questions. It is expected of you that you are able already to answer this pre-diagnostic test. Turn your modules on page 19. On page 19, there is a definition of speech style. It says here, the way we communicate varies depending on a lot of factors such as speech context, speech purpose, and speech delivery. The form of language that the speaker uses is characterized by the degree of formality is known as speech style. That is according to Martin Juice, 1976. So in delivering speeches, it only means that there's a certain level of formality that the speaker should exemplify. And today, we're going to discover the different types of speech styles, the different levels of formality when we deliver our speeches. At the lower part of page 19, there is an activity wherein it's like a map. There are drawings in it, and it says here the instruction, there are 5 types of speech style that can be used in various speaking situations. To know them, accomplish first the comic strip below by sharing a day in your life as you go to school. Supply the needed statements in each scenario. Use the drawing as your guide. So in here, there's a series of events in these comic strips, and we are going to write a simple conversation or statement that could be stated by the characters of this comic strip. It shows a journey from your home to school. So let's start. Well, in the first drawing, what I can see here is a child trying to bid goodbye to her mom because he's now on his way to school. So you can write anything inside the blank. What could be the statement of the child as he goes to the school when he says goodbye to his mom? Maybe he would say, "Mom, I have to go now to school. I love you. Thank you." Okay? And then, in number 2, we can see here a drawing of the child encountering his friend. There is a conversation to be written here. Maybe the child would say, "Hi friend, do you want to go to school with me today?" The third drawing is like the teacher meeting the teacher, maybe on the way. Maybe the child would say, or the boy would say, "Good morning, mom. You look so beautiful today." The fourth drawing is a boy approaching the principal. And while the principal was stating something, or maybe there's a question that he wanted to ask the principal during the announcements. Maybe the principal gave them the opportunity to ask questions and the kid approached the principal. So maybe the child would say, "Sir, good morning. When are we going to start again our regular classes? Or when will be the submission of our modules?" Number 5, the boy beside the flagpole. Maybe the boy is reciting a the or recite maybe the boy is reciting the pledge to the allegiance to the flag or the panatang makabayan, or maybe the boy is listening to what the principal is saying in here during the flag ceremony. So we can write a statement. What do you think? Maybe a response to what the principal was saying. Maybe he could say like, "Yes sir, noted sir," something like that after the announcement. Okay, so we're done with the first activity on page 19. Are you still with me? I would like to shout out all of my students who are there. Thank you, Angel. Hello, good morning. To all of you, good morning. Now turn your modules on page 20. It's now time for us to further understand the different types of speech style. Are you ready? If yes, kindly hit the like button. Okay. You may have noticed that the forms of language you use in talking to different people in different situations change in the degree of formality. Of course, when we say degree of formality, the way you talk to a child will be different on how you talk to the principal, on how you talk to the governor, or to the president. There's a certain degree of formality that individuals should exude every time that they talk to individuals. That's what we call as speech style. They vary. This is because of speech style, and there are 5 types of speech style. Good morning, Gail. The first one we have on page 20, we have intimate. Number 2, we have casual. Number 3, we have consultative. Number 4, we have formal. And number 5, we have frozen. Let's start with the first type of speech style, which is the intimate. It says here, it is used for very close relationships. Example, we have couple. It says here that language used in this style may not be shared in public. So when we say intimate speech style, it's done for individuals who are or who have a very close relationships. Example, your mom and dad when they are talking at home, when they're having their date, or we say at night, pillow talks. That's a form of speech style, intimate. When you talk to your special somebody or to your partner, that is intimate. Usually in here, the distance between you and the receiver of the message, the space between you is close. We will understand that when we go further with the term proxemics. Proxemics. The knowledge of distance that individuals should have every time that they talk to specific kind of individuals, to persons. For intimate, there should be close distance between them. Okay? Example of intimate, at home, when you talk to your mom and dad, your younger brother or sister. That's for intimate. The second type of speech style is what we call as casual. Can you read it with me? It says here that it is an informal communication between groups and peers who have something to share and have shared background information but do not have close relationships. Example, classmates. And in here, you use jargon, slang, and vernacular language. Casual. Okay. Another example in here is when you try to play basketball with your friends. While you are conversing while you play, that's a form of casual. Because you use slang words. You use vernacular language. That is for casual. When you talk to your friends in the canteen while you have your snacks before, that's a form of casual speech style. Are you following? If yes, let's move on. The third type of speech style is what we call as consultative. It is said here, let us read together. It is used in semi-formal and standard communication. Example, teacher and student. Professional or mutually acceptable language is a must in this style. So you see, when we talk about consultative speech style, there is a certain difference between the sender and the receiver of the message based on their level of maturity, maybe on their career stage. Teacher and student. There is a distinct difference between the maturity of these individuals. So, it says here, it uses semi-formal and standard communication. Consultative. Another example, the guidance counselor to a student that was asked to go to the guidance office. Consultative. Earlier in the intimate level, in the intimate speech style, I said earlier that the distance between the speaker and the receiver is close. While in consultative, as you have observed when you visited the guidance office, there is a table that separates the guidance counselor to the student. There's a space between that. That space alone implies a meaning that the person seated in front or who owns the table is the person with authority. And the person seated in front, the student, is under the authority of the guidance office. A guidance counselor. The law of distance. Proxemics. Consultative. Just like doctor and patient. From principal to the teacher. Consultative. Are you all good with that? If yes, let's move on. Number 4 is a formal formal speech style. It says here that it's a one-way straightforward speech. Example, State of the Nation Address. Another example, I think when there is a hearing in a court, the lawyers are expected to deliver a speech style in a formal way. Meetings, British parliamentary procedure. It says here, what the speaker says is something that has been prepared beforehand. Formal. Well, in SONA, the president delivers his speech to present his accomplishments or the projects that were accomplished during his term. The Congress and the Senate will go there, and eventually they wear formal wear because it's a formal setting. Speech style, formal. Next, number 5. We have here frozen. It is defined as is the most formal communicative style that is usually used during solemn ceremonies and events. Examples, pledges. Another definition that I have read on frozen is that these are statements or speeches that are permanent. It doesn't change. Example, allegiance, the recitation of the allegiance to the flag, to the country, the Panata Makabayan, it does not change. The pledge of loyalty, it does not change. It says here it does not require any feedback from the audience. So it's commonly done in solemn ceremonies and events. Are you all good with that? So what are the 5 types of speech style? The first one, we have intimate. Number 2, we have casual. Number 3, we have consultative. Number 4, we have, what's number 4? It's formal. And number 5, we have frozen. So those are the 5 types of speech style. Turn your modules on page 21. There is an activity, what's more. It says here, distinguish how you should communicate in the following speaking situations through the diagram below. Write the letter of the speaking situation to its appropriate type of speech style. Use a separate sheet of paper for your answer. So let's start. Number 1. Attending a solemn ceremonies. I think this one belongs to frozen. Number 2. Listening to announcements. This one is formal. Correct. Number 3. Or letter C. Conversing with close people. The clue word there is close people. The answer there is what speech style? Can you comment down below? That is intimate. Number 4, letter D. Addressing the one in authority. Correct, Gail? Letter D, addressing the one in authority. We have consultative. Letter E, talking to friends about hobbies. When you talk to your friends, what's the answer? Kindly comment down below. The correct answer there is casual. Letter F. When you care less about the grammar, what's that? It's for intimate. G. Using slang words like bro, brother, bro, sis. What speech style do we use these words? That's for casual. Correct, Gail. Joyce, correct. Letter H. Reciting the Girl Scout or Boy Scout law. That is correct, Angel. Correct. That is for letter H, when you recite the Girl Scout and Boy Scout law, that is frozen. You're right. Letter I, producing well-formed sentences. It is a prepared speech. The correct answer here is formal. Correct. And the last one is talking to the utility staff in your school. What should be the correct answer here? Is it intimate, consultative, or formal? The correct answer here is consultative. So we were able to answer already what's more. Okay? Are you all good with that? So now let's move on with what I have learned. I think this one is the focus of our module, right? Number 1. From the lesson on the types of speech styles, I learned that you are then expected to complete what is being asked in here. So let's answer together. Number 1, the following speech styles are also observed in other speaking situations. Now we are going to give examples of speaking situations for the different types of speech style. Let's start with intimate. Excuse me for a moment. Okay, let's start with intimate. Intimate we have when we do date. When we have pillow talks. B we have, okay, pillow talks is a conversation done at night when you talk to your special someone, when you talk to your wife, for your parents, for those who are married, okay? Pillow talks, intimate. B, casual. Okay? When players play basketball, Mobile Legends, casual. When you talk to your cousins, casual. Consultative. Consultative, Joyce, okay? Consultative, guidance, when you talk to the guidance counselor at school. Patient to the doctor, teacher to student, even mother to son. Correct? D, formal. Hearing, board meeting, sauna, wedding ceremonies. Frozen, allegiance to the flag, pledge of loyalty, and many more. So let's move on. Number 2. There are principles that you have to keep in mind when talking to people using the following speech style to maintain good communication, such as, so for number 2, what is being asked here are principles. What are the things that we need to remember every time that we do talk to someone in a particular speech style? So we are then expected to write principles in each letter. A, family member, intimate. So what principle then are we going to apply when we talk to family members? Well, for me, I think when we talk to our family members, we have to speak from the heart and listen with the heart. I mean, we try to put empathy to what they're saying. We need to put a heart when we listen and we speak to people, especially in our family members. Because sometimes, when we do not try to understand our family members, there might be a gap to happen. So let's be understanding to our family members. Let's find time to talk to them. Intimate speech style. Are we all good with that? If yes, now let's move on with casual classmate. What do you think is, can you give one principle that we should do when we talk to our classmates? For example, there is an opportunity for you to gather, maybe because of a birthday, maybe because of a celebration. Can you give me one principle? Well, for me, I think we have to provide them opportunities to speak as well. It's not only us to speak, but rather we give equal opportunities for one another to speak. Turn taking, right? You give them chances also to speak. It's not only to monopoly, to, yeah, to take the lead in speaking, rather give them also the chance to speak. Next, C, teacher consultative. What principle? Always be respectful and courteous to your teachers. When you talk to them face to face, or when you ask questions to the lessons that you wanted to clarify, then you talk to them in a nice way. Okay? Next, formal. It's a one way, okay? One way. One way communication process. When we say formal, you are there to listen and not to butt in or to make noise or distractions, because in the first place, the speech style is formal. The given here is for principal. When the principal is speaking in front, what should be your attitude towards it? You should listen attentively. You have to avoid noise, making noise, or do not talk to your classmates or fellow students. You listen. Very good, Joyce. Number 5, pledge. For pledge, it's frozen. So, when you recite pledge, of course, you have to recite it properly and you speak from the heart. You should not alter the words written, or you should not alter the words of the pledge. Rather, what is being provided for that pledge, you should speak it exactly. Pledge, frozen. Example of frozen, the Department of Education vision, mission, and core values. Frozen. Number 3, let's move on. We're almost there. I should use appropriate speech style when talking to certain people. So, the communication process, the goal of the communication will be achieved. When you act according to the appropriate speech style, then definitely you will be viewed as someone with dignity, as someone who, as a respected person. Because you know how to give respect, definitely you will also be respected when it's your turn to speak. Observing the proper speech style ensures both parties to be understood and to be respected. So that's my answer for number 3. You can also write your answers. What do you think is the importance of observing the proper speech style when we communicate with people? Okay? What can I do? Turn your modules on page 23. Okay. Let your knowledge of the different types of speech style make your communication and relation with other people better. Below are the pictures showing some communication problems. To address these problems, identify the appropriate speech style to be used, then provide a possible dialogue using the appropriate language form of each speech style. So we are then to identify the appropriate speech style, and then we try to create a conversation or dialogue to solve the problem. Let's start with number 1. In number 1 drawing, what we can see in here is that I feel like the mom is trying to correct the daughter for something that maybe the child was wrong about it. What should be the speech style to be done? I think it should be intimate. In here, maybe Let's say the name of the girl is Anna or Abigail, since Abigail is watching us right now. Abigail, you should not have done that to her. And then the response of the daughter should be, I am sorry, mom. You are right. I should not have done that to her. So that's just an example, okay? It's also your turn to make one to answer this activity. Okay? Number 2. Let's try first to understand the drawing. It feels like... Oh, there's... I was right when I said Anna. It is given in here in number 1. Anna. Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to read that one. Number 2. Camila has no friends in school. And Camila in the drawing is crying. She's sad. And others are looking at her. What might be the Okay, the speech style to be done in here is casual. Am I right? I think so. So let's try to write a dialogue for this drawing. Maybe the girls would approach Anna and say, Camila, why are you crying? And Camila would say, because I feel like I do not belong in here. Then at the lower part, you could also write, we will be here. We will become your friends. We will be friends. Something like that. Okay? Let's move on. Number 3. These business partners have not reached an agreement. They do not have an agreement yet. I think the speech style, the appropriate speech style here is consultative. Why? Because they need to have an agreement from the person presenting the project or program, maybe to somebody who will agree or approve the proposal. So there's a difference between the two. It's consultative. Maybe the dialogue that we can write here is that, Sir, let me present to you the advantages of our partnership. And then the other one would say, okay, present it and I will listen. Maybe that's the dialogue for this one. You can also think, what are the things that they might say in here? You can write it. Do you have questions about that? If none, then let us move on with the assessment. Number 1. Or the directions. Identify whether each statement is true or false. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Let's read together. Number 1. The most informal speech style is the intimate style. The most informal speech style is the intimate style. That is true. Number 2. The standard style of speech is the casual style. The standard style for speech is the casual style. Is it true or false? Kindly comment down below. Is it true or false? What's the answer? The answer here is false. Why? It's because it should not be casual style. The standard style based on our lecture is consultative. Am I right, Joyce? You're right. It's false. Number 3. Consultative style is used when talking to someone in authority. Consultative style is used when talking to someone in authority. That is true. Number 4. Frozen style needs feedback. Frozen style needs feedback. True or false? Number 4. That is false. You are right, Angel. It does not require feedback because frozen, it's not meant for you to give a feedback, right? Number 5. Honorifics like Mr. and Mrs. should be used when talking to strangers. True. That is true, number 5. Number 7. You can use slang words like dude to a stranger. Number 6. You can use slang words like dude to a stranger. False. No, it's not formal. Number 7. Similar interests form a casual speech style. Number 7, similar interests form a casual speech style. That is true. Number 8, correct pronunciation is strictly observed in the intimate style. Once again, correct pronunciation is strictly observed in the intimate style. True or false? False. No. What number are we now? Number 10. Delivering a formal speech takes the longest time of preparation. Delivering a formal speech takes the longest time of preparation. Number 10, that is true. Correct. Correct, Angel. Number 11. The manager can talk informally to his subordinates in the workplace. The manager can talk informally to his subordinates in the workplace. I think it's false. The manager should talk formally, especially if they are in the workplace. Number 12. Speech styles develop values. Speech style develop good values. True or false? This one is true. Number 13. Using appropriate speech style means varying the degree of formality. Using appropriate speech styles means varying the degree of formality. True. Number 14. Speech context affects speech style. Speech context, when we say speech context, that is the environment. It also pertains to the number of individuals involved in the communication process. Thus here, speech context affects speech style. That is true. Number 15. The degree of relationship dictates the type of speech style to be used. The degree of relationship dictates the type of speech style to be used. That is true. So we're done with the assessment. Are you okay? Now, let's move on with additional activities. Turn your modules on page 25. We're almost done. It says here, observe varied speaking situations happening in your environment. Distinguish the types of speech style used by completing the table below. Then, point out one good practice in each speaking situations that is worthy of imitation. 1 point will be given for every correct answer written on each box. Use a separate sheet of paper for your answer. So we are going to give sample speaking situations and what are the good practices that we have observed on the different speaking situations that we are going to enumerate. Okay? Are you good with that? So let's start. Number 1. Intimate. I would like to write my mom and dad when they are having a conversation or when they talk to each other. One good practice that I have observed from them is that they listen and they do not argue. They listen and they do not argue. For example, My dad, he always listens and tries to understand before responding. That's a good practice. He listens with a heart. Then he performs what is being asked of him, especially in his duties at home. Casual, playing Mobile Legends. One good practice that I've observed with my friends when we play Mobile Legends, we do not do trash talk. You should not speak words that would hurt others because that's not a good thing. No trash talking because it doesn't make you a good person when you say bad things to others, when you hurt their feelings. That's not a good thing. And Mobile Legends is a team sport. You have to develop unity within your group. Even in other team sports, no trash talking. You have to be courteous. You have to be sensitive of the words that you say, ensuring that nobody's gonna be hurt with what you say. Number 3, consultative. Hmm. Example of speaking situations. For example, you are going to talk to your care leaders. In the church, there is such thing as care leaders or the leader of your group. When you talk to your care leader, to your senior in the church or any organization that you belong to, it is expected of you that you listen to what they say and you obey what's being said. Number 4, let's move on. Example of formal listening to speeches. Good practice. You pay attention to what is being said by the speaker. You open your mind for new principles to learn from them. You are there to learn and not to be a judge of the manner that he or she speaks. Number 5, frozen. When we recite the depth ed vision, mission, and core values, good practice, we participate to recite. We recite it with the heart. So those are the good practices that I think should be written here. Well, these are just examples. You can also write your own answers, your good practices when we do these types of speech or when we engage in these types of speech styles. I think we're done. Do you have questions, class? If none, then let's call it a day. Good day and have a wonderful week ahead.